I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back. It's Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis Ellis. He is Giulio Gallerati.
Yeah, baby.
How are you?
I'm all right, dude. How are you doing?
Great. I just tried to vote in the mayoral election.
How did that go?
They turned me away.
Why? Were you not registered?
I am registered as an independent.
You can't vote in the mayoral election?
Can't vote in the Democratic primary. Which
But is that not the actual
de facto,
race?
It's the de facto New York mayoral election. Whoever
Because
wins
whoever
the
wins
Democratic
that.
primary will win.
That's crazy.
And I spent at least an hour, if not an hour and 15 minutes prior to going to vote, reading up on all the candidates, informing myself so that I could fill the ranked choice voting correctly. And I got there. By the way, it was in a public housing project.
Mm-hmm.
And I arrived and they told me because I'm a registered independent, not a registered Democrat, I couldn't vote. And now I have all of this useless knowledge.
Well, you know what, Francis? Maybe it's time to commit, dude.
To being a Democrat?
Time to commit to the side.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be tagged.
I feel you.
I don't want to be told what I have to be.
Dude, totally.
I don't like, I'm so at this point disenchanted with both parties. Whatever. I'm not trying to get political. The point is,
Tell us about Andrew Yang, dude.
why did I waste my time? I should have known better.
So can you update us on the race? Like who's running? Who are the favorites? Is de Blasio even allowed to run again?
By the time this episode comes out, we'll know who the Democratic, I think, candidate is.
So how does that work? Like, is de Blasio done? Like you do?
Yeah, his term is up. He's done.
He can't come back and do it again?
He maxed out.
Okay. It's and it's a 6-year term? Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay. So what do you know then?
What I know is that they switched it to ranked choice voting for the first time.
What does that mean?
It means that you vote who you like as your number one person, and then your backup.
Oh, that's interesting.
And your third and your fourth and your fifth.
And so people get points on a sliding scale like that?
That's right.
That's cool.
If you get second place votes, you can still win.
That's crazy.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like all-star voting or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I didn't get to vote, and that really pissed me off.
Who are the candidates?
Andrew Yang, Yang
I
Gang.
know that. Yang Gang.
Eric Adams.
Okay.
He's a former Brooklyn cop
Got it.
who, is probably going to win.
Really?
Yeah, he's the front runner.
Interesting.
There are some women whose names I can't remember.
Oh, no.
Garcia, I think. Hold on. I got it.
Also, the mayor is only allowed to run for 2 consecutive 4-year terms.
Got it.
Okay, so it's exactly like the presidential.
Do you want to cut that, what you just said?
No, it's
Okay.
McGuire. Did I say Garcia?
Yes.
I said Garcia? Was
Can
the
you
woman
cut
whose
me
name I
saying
said?
that then? Can you cut me suggesting
We
that
don't
cut
even
it?
need to cut any of this. I think this is funny.
Okay. Continue.
Perfectly fine for me to show that I'm an idiot. Garcia, McGuire, Yang, Wiley, Eric Adams. Those are kind of like probably the front runners that everyone's talking about.
Those are the big boys and
And
girls.
then there's a handful of others. Some very progressive candidates, but then some sort of moderate Democrats. Eric Adams used to be a Republican, actually.
Interesting.
Now he's come over. So that's the story. It sucks not to be able to vote.
Yeah.
What a
Dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're almost like, well, I guess that's what voter suppression feels
Dude,
like.
yes, I was literally just thinking
obviously it's not the same, but
like if you don't have some specific document, you're not allowed to vote, like some bullshit.
you do all the work to get there.
clerical
You
bullshit.
walk and you read about it, and then you get all excited. You patting yourself on the back as you walk in.
Right.
You're saying, I'm doing my civic duty. I'm doing the right thing here.
You spent the time. You're all
Yeah.
proud of yourself.
Well,
and then
look,
you can't
man,
even do it.
we all complain for all those years about de Blasio. Everyone loves to complain about the mayor of their city.
He just seems like insincere. He seems like a ruthless, self-promoting narcissist
But isn't
who doesn't
that
care about the
every
people.
every executive
So,
politician?
Maybe, but like you need to at least pretend. You know what I mean? Like some politicians come off as more sincere than others. Like de Blasio, first of all, he changed his name. I think his name used to be Bill Wilhelm. And then he changed it to de Blasio. Then he was like pimping out his family to be like, look at my diverse family. Like everyone fucking hates. Then he tried to run for president. Everyone's like, dude, you're a joke.
Yeah.
Just immediately pulled out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm trying to think about ironically, I don't know exactly how New Yorkers felt about Mayor Bloomberg. Maybe it was mixed. It seems like
they liked him.
everyone hates de Blasio.
Yes.
But the person that I remember in my lifetime as being a universally popular New York mayor was Rudy. Giuliani.
Cleaned up the city.
After 9/11, because after 9/11.
That too, yeah.
Anyway, so that sucked. Stupid morning. What a waste of time reading all about these people.
I think it's that way for the president too, though. Like, I don't think you can vote in the primary if you're not registered with either party. Which is
that makes sense. I mean, it's something I should have known. It makes total sense.
But dude, it's like you took a deep dive, and sometimes like when you take a deep dive, your first deep dive, you're just gonna like miss some stuff. It's all right. You live and learn, bro.
Yeah.
Hopefully the same thing doesn't happen when you go to court, pal.
Dude, also, I know. Quick update on that.
Oh, sweet.
Well, there's no real update. Other than that, did I tell you I had another call with him?
The landlord?
Yeah.
No. You didn't
so
tell
I
us
had
that.
another. Because we left that first call, I refused to meet him in the middle at 0. That's what his proposal was, to meet in the middle. Was none of the security deposit.
It's crazy.
And I said, as that call had progressed, he had sort of whittled me down. He had broken my will by saying this, and this and this, and you owe for this, blah blah blah. And I kept being a nice person and saying, well, okay, I'll accept that or this. And he had gotten me down to being in a place where I would accept like $1,800 back.
Jesus, dude.
And
Wore you
which
down.
is way less than half. And I was like, no, I would accept that. And he was like, well, I can't ask for any money from the board, so we'll just let a third party decide. And I was like, fine. So then a week or two goes by. He sends me another email and says he thinks we can be reasonable and he's got an offer. So we get on a call and he goes, I think I can do 1,800 now. And at this point, I was like, no.
Good.
And he goes, but you wrote that you would do that. I was like, I didn't write that. I said that to you in person. And even if I had written it, who would have given it? Who gives a shit?
Right.
I'm excited. I'm already thinking about the outfit I'm going to wear to court.
Are you a man of your word? He starts questioning your
I got
integrity.
my pregame meal picked out. I'm going to get a playlist together. You're going to come.
I'm coming.
It's going to be a day.
It's going to be great.
And
I
dude,
can't wait.
you know what I'm really excited to do? Listen to this. My thought is that if and when we get the entire security deposit back, I'm going to use all of that money to throw the most banging party ever. And I want to like invite people who have been invested in this saga.
You should invite the
Fans.
landlord.
Well, dude, we're definitely going to get like a professional photographer to fucking create an album and send it to him. You're like, look what your money did.
Oh my
Look at how
God.
happy you made people.
Dude, I just picture the tone of this being very pleasant still, which is like like a Hitchcock movie, they'll be having this like really serious conversation, but like keeping it light, sort of like cheekily.
It is, to this dude's credit, he's very dignified. This man.
Oh, so he's not, listen, you cocksucker.
No, he's Italian.
Okay.
And I think he's worth, $400 million. Or
What?
some shit. Which begs the question, why are you sweating this such nominal amount of money?
It's like, oh, the cash is all tied up.
He's clearly very principled and all of that. But, this is such a headache for him.
Yeah.
It's
totally.
such a headache. This whole project has been such a headache for him. He's hated being involved in this building. He just wants out. He's trying to get out of his stake of it. And he knows that by remaining in this court battle, the court date will be, far after the time that he wanted to still be involved. So he wanted to tie up all his loose ends. That's why he wanted to resolve this. And I was like, dude, just pay me my original offer of $5,400.
Right.
And he wouldn't go from $1,800 to $5,400. And it's like, really?
Dude, I hate to say this, but I can't imagine, like, I feel like if two women were the ones having this conversation, that like you guys would be already done with this.
Maybe
Like
women
and I don't
can
mean
get
that about you. I
No,
mean
I know.
it from his angle. Like, why not just at least go to 4,000? Like, why is it becoming kind of like it sounds like it's becoming
If
like
he
I
were a
refuse
woman
to budge.
and I were a woman, we might be sticking more to our principles. I think it all depends on the woman.
Okay, fair.
But I know what you mean. There would be more organization around it. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Like I see what you're saying, but
Let's put it this way: my mom would not bend an inch.
right.
She would not bend an inch.
Right.
And then if he were my mom somehow, she wouldn't bend an inch.
Okay.
It's just
Fair.
depends on what sort of spitfire you're dealing with.
Right.
As Norm Macdonald would say, what sort of old battle axe? He says, my wife is an old battle axe.
That's hilarious. Fucking
What's up with you, man?
dude, so I like haven't been feeling well, which makes me sound I feel like an old person. I haven't been feeling well. You know what I mean? There's like no specific reason. You just haven't been feeling well. My stomach's all fucked up. I don't know if it's from like getting back from Ecuador, immediately partying 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
like that probably, I just like never gave myself time to fully recover or something.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. But dude, it's funny because I've been having awesome dreams, bro.
Huh.
I woke up this morning feeling terrible, but I had the best dream. Okay, so I have 2 in particular. I remember them vividly. I wrote them down after they happened because I find that I tend to forget dreams if I don't do that.
As do I.
So I beat Nadal at the French Open.
Come on.
Oh, buddy.
I beat him. And after I won, I like gave a very sort of muted celebration as to sort of show my respect for the great champion of the dirt. Kind of walked to the net, took my hat off. Like we gave he patted me on the chest. And then the press conference was there. He's like, sometimes in a sport, this will happen. He's like, he played very well. He's having a fantastic tournament. Congratulations to him. He's deserving to win. So, and then he's like, I think we like each other. And then I was like, I have so much respect for Rafa. Like, this is a dream come true for me. Amazing. So that was sick. Great time, dude. Then I won a Grammy in another dream.
Oh, a different dream.
Different dream. I won a Grammy. I didn't even really realize I was nominated, which was kind of weird. But and they're like, the winner is GC Gallerati.
Your email?
Yeah. So yeah. And I got up there. I was like, it's actually Giulio with a G. Dude, then the entire crowd, as I'm about to start giving my speech, starts singing, "What would you do if your son was at home crying alone?" And I started singing along to it. Cause he's hungry. I started getting all into it.
And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money.
Dude, so we're smoking rock now. And then at the end, I remember just nailing so for you, this is just a good time. I was doing the hand thing. I was like, but for me, this is what I call life. And I went, and the crowd lost their fucking mind. They're like, this is the greatest speech ever. And then I kept going. And I was like, I would say I'd thank my team, but I don't have a team, And then I started explaining that. I was like, people like CAA or whatever. And then I remember I was in the taxi after and I was regretting that I had continued my speech. I was like, you should have just cut it, man. You became that guy who didn't. No one even cared about your category. Like, there was no need to keep carrying on about it. But then I called everyone I knew and told them, and they were surprised, which also didn't make sense because if they knew I was nominated for a Grammy, obviously they would have been watching the Grammys. I told my girlfriend, I told my parents. Are you serious? Yeah, I won a Grammy.
Did you write? You wrote all this down?
I wrote that down, yeah, because I didn't want to. It was super specific, dude.
That is very specific.
But waking up, dude, waking up from dreams like that sucks.
This is what I was gonna say. It makes you feel less about your life.
You feel like a loser. You're like, fuck, I'm a loser still.
Yeah. Back to that's right. I'm here again in my apartment.
My shitty life.
I'm about to go eat some oats. Dude, that song, with what would you do if your son was at home? We I don't know, 5th graders, 6th
It was
graders.
a banger.
Yeah, well, we all knew the words to it, and we would sing along. It's some of the heaviest lyrics
I know.
in the world. The part where he goes, "Girl, you ain't the only one with a baby. That's no excuse to be living all crazy." Then she looked me right dead in the eye and said, "Every day I wake up hoping to die." And then she says something about like my daddy.
Yeah, she goes, blank, I know about pain cuz me and my sister ran away so our daddy couldn't rape us.
Yeah. And we're all like,
Before I was a teenager.
yeah.
So, dude, honestly, it's almost too heavy.
It's like the song introduced us to like suicide, incest, rape. I mean, they really
prostitution, drug use.
hit for the cycle. And I always, even at that age, thought,
the cycle.
who the fuck is this guy trying to tell this girl, like, you shouldn't be doing this?
Mansplaining.
I got a kid too.
Yeah.
And then she fires right back with like, well, my dad tried to rape us and I try not to kill myself. It's like, dude, why are you trying to chide her? Why are you coaching her about her life choices
Right.
without having any sense of where she's been?
They're like one-upping each other with their difficult
That's
upbringings.
That's
Dude,
it.
the other thing too, okay, so first of all, that song came out at the tail end of like the fictional narrative song where there's just fictional characters and you're talking about their terrible lives. Another example of that song, Waterfalls is an example of that. Also, Then You Really Might Know What It's Like.
Yeah.
And each verse is like a different fake
That's
story.
a great song.
It's a good song. But same thing with City High. In a way, I'm almost kind of like, all right, dude, like, do we need, like, what are the odds that these characters have every single bad thing that's ever happened to anybody happening to them? And then at the end, the big twist, he goes, girl, I know if my mother could do it, baby, you could do it.
I don't even remember the end of the song.
Like the big twist is like his mother had it bad too. Oh my God.
Well, then maybe that does give him some credit in saying, I guess, all of that.
Again, but
Chiding her.
So the only
admonishing her.
the only thing I'm worried about is that somehow that song is a true story, in which case I apologize. However, I have trouble believing that is the story. That song is a
I
true
wonder
story.
too. I wonder too. Well, I mentioned oats. You know, if that's not what you're excited to wake up to after your dreams of winning Grammys and beating
Nadal.
Rafa at the French Open, I've got a better breakfast that will actually be in keeping with your monumental success, Giulio.
Magic Spoon, baby.
Magic Spoon cereal.
So fucking
I'm
good.
going through these boxes like they're hotcakes.
I know, man. I know. It's really, and you know, it's healthy. 4 grams of net carbs, no sugar, and 14 grams of protein per serving.
That's it.
It's delicious. All the different flavors are really good. I'm really enjoying the frosted flavor right now.
Yeah, that's your jam.
That's a banger.
I'm a big peanut butter guy.
I know you like the peanut butter.
You know I like the peanut butter, and I'll mix it with the chocolate.
Which I think is a solid thing.
What
to
does
be
that
doing.
create?
A peanut butter cup.
That's
Francis.
right. It tastes like a peanut butter cup right in my bowl with my oat milk. It's absolutely delicious.
It's really fucking good.
We love the Magic Spoon. Everybody loves Magic Spoon cereal. You guys should get some right now. You get their variety pack. It comes with all 4 of those flavors: frosted, chocolate, peanut butter, and berry.
Right, like the fruity flavor.
The fruity berry. So go to magicspoon.com right now and use promo code OOPS at checkout, and you'll get $5 off that variety pack, which we're pretty much done with. Let's be honest.
We're going to have to get a new one.
We're going to need another Magic Spoon. If you're listening, we could use another little airdrop of your tasty, delicious cereal that's so healthy. Tastes like kids' cereal, but it's actually nutritious. Magicspoon.com, promo code OOPS. Enjoy it.
Love it, dude. So I went to visit my parents this weekend.
Good.
Which was lovely. It was nice to see them.
You spend a lot of time with your parents.
Do I?
And I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you, man. Sometimes I feel bad that I don't spend enough time, or when I visit them in Connecticut, I don't stay long enough. And my therapist, who I don't go to anymore, he told me, he goes, I've noticed that with most Italian families, there's this sense of guilt. I'm like, dude, fucking, okay. But you know, it was very nice to visit them. My dad was hyping up this big lunch we were going to go to. He's like, don't eat breakfast. We're going to the Turkish place.
Uh-huh.
There's this place, the Turkish place. It's like near the train station in New Haven where I get off. And he's like, we're going. He's like, don't eat anything for breakfast. We're going to go big. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Dude, we get to the Turkish place. He orders an appetizer size hummus, an appetizer size falafel, and an appetizer size eggplant dip. And that's it.
For everyone?
for just for me and him. I'm like, what kind of feast is this, dude? He goes, oh, I don't know what else to order. I'm like, what are you talking? What is going on? I was like, can I order some more shit? He's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, this is so weird. I'm like, why did you tell me not to eat if we're just gonna like pick and not actually eat a meal? I would have eaten some fucking magic spoon.
There you go, a little MS. Yeah,
dude. So then he starts telling me what we're having for dinner, and he starts telling me that I like it. Here's, we're having prosciutto and cheese for dinner. You like it? And I just didn't answer. And he kept doing that. And then for dinner, my mom goes, what are we having for dinner? And I was like, apparently I'm having prosciutto and cheese because I like it. And he goes, you don't like it? I'm like, I don't know, but I wasn't asked. I was told. That's what I like. It was just so odd, dude.
Well, in the middle of that, I was having all these people over, and I did something very weird, which is that I disappeared from the party, came into the downstairs bathroom, and called Giulio. I put not only the toilet seat, but the toilet lid down and turned on the sink to have a private phone call mid-party that I'm hosting with my co-host. And I think all that I was doing was just talking shit about the people that were at the party. And then, this is the crazy part. I was on the phone for no more than 1 minute with you when people started coming down and knocking on the door, being like, Fran, are you in there? And I'm like, do they all think I'm doing coke without them? Who are these coke fiends who just saw that my absence had reached a minute, couldn't place me, and therefore thought I'm missing out?
Dude, that's hilarious.
What, and it was one after another. And
Abba came in the bathroom.
Abba came into the bathroom. I put you on speakerphone, and he's like, oh man, you would have been so much value add at this party. He'd be like, you'd be a huge value add. That's the way he talks. And we all missed you because you would have added a lot of value to this party.
I had FOMO for sure.
By the way, it was super hot on Saturday, and I was trying to set up the trash dumpster again as a 2-person pool, like I had done.
I didn't realize that was a trash thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing that holds trash, but it holds bags of trash. It's not just loose trash,
right?
But it's in the parking garage in the basement of the building is where they keep them. We got about 7 of them. So the last time I went down there and I grabbed one and I sort of washed it out. I had to sneak it all the way up in the elevator and then up this like emergency staircase onto the roof and then kind of wheel it across these rocks. It was a pilgrimage. And I went all the way down there to get it again. And as I was about to start pulling it, the super of our building came out and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, we're having a party and I need this. And he was like, what do you need it for? And I couldn't be like, pool.
Yeah.
So I had to say, so people can throw their empty cans and things away. And he's like, oh, you don't need one that big. I'll get you a regular bucket. And I'm like, great, thanks. And then we just had, a bucket, a big trash bin that you couldn't swim in, certainly. And so we missed out on that. But then my plan B was to take the garden hose, and we have this super high powered, almost industrial fan. And I put that on the table up there and then took the garden hose and turned it to mist and then put that right in front of the fan, which by the way is quite dangerous electrically.
Yeah, yes.
But I wanted to create what you see on the sidelines of hot NFL games where they have those misting sort of things. The problem was the mist feature of our hose nozzle doesn't create a fine enough mist. It's misty, don't get me wrong. It's misty, but it's a little too dense. So I'm sitting in front of this fan trying to be like, guys, it's perfect.
It just feels like rain.
Come join me in the mist. And they're looking at me and they're like, dude, you're soaked. You're absolutely soaked. None of us want that. We're wearing makeup. We've done our hair. Like, we don't have a change of clothing. None of us can do what you're doing right now. And I'm like, come on, join me in the mist. It feels like I'm near a waterfall, you know?
That's
and
hilarious.
I couldn't sell anyone on it. So eventually we had to just dissemble the mister. But then as later people arrived at the party, everyone started asking what had happened to the mister because they had been told about it as a selling point for coming to the party. And I'm like, well, everyone was fucking making fun of me for dripping from my nostrils. So I took it down out of shame. And now you're here and everyone wants it again. But it's, you know what? It's too fucking late, okay? It's too late.
Dude, you're a funny guy, man. Honestly, like, this is very Francis specific humor. Dude, your domestic humor is like the best. You are the #1 domestic comedian I've ever encountered in my life, dude. Like, literally, you could easily have a sitcom just about living in your apartment. I know that that's something that, like, your buddy who doesn't know about comedy says, hey, you should have a sitcom. But you actually should, dude. Like, between just like the slamming of the doors and the wall and the setting up of the party and the people coming over and there's just a lot of moving parts.
Hosting is something I think that is more layered than I had ever kind of thought it was until you started talking to me about it. I think hosting parties is really funny.
I mean,
interesting.
Francis is a full-on like barbecue pit master and a fucking drink mixologist. He doubles as like many different things. Like, you really have a high aptitude for a lot of these like very complicated things.
Well,
like, you've achieved excellence.
I appreciate
in
that.
many different fields.
That's very sweet of you. One thing that I've run into lately, especially since leaving my job at Bro Bible, is that, you know, hosting is expensive. And I think unless you let people know before they come, because oftentimes people will text you and they'll say, can I bring anything?
Right.
And then if they don't, we've talked about this, they just bring a fucking 12-pack of White Claw or whatever, and that's that.
Right.
But a 12-pack of White Claw is like $15.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're equipping the party with, how we are stocking the party is with, you know, burgers and
You're like basically throwing a
booze,
wedding every
buying
weekend.
mezcal and stuff like that, and lime juice and all this crazy shit. So my thought is, instead, first of all, I'm deterred now from hosting as often because I don't want to pay that much. I don't want to be
Right.
in the hole every weekend.
Right.
So my thought now is that to tell people, instead of bringing something, could you just Venmo me like whatever, $40, $50? What's the number that you can say this is the cost of admission to the party that you've agreed to come to?
I think there's a couple different ways to do it. So honestly, Hillary's crew, they do that. They're like big with the Venmo things. Like,
Girls are really good about it.
they're really good about it.
And it's
Like,
not weird at all.
It's not weird at all. They'll like throw a party and then like Venmo people.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Not always, but sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I have no problem with that. The other thing I would say is that since you're going above and beyond the Call of Duty with your party, I think that it's maybe on the guests who now, there's a lot of repeat customers to expect that they need to bring the heat. So when you're like, can I bring anything? And you're like, no, don't worry about it, dude. I think there's a moment there to like suggest more shit. So I could be like, well, are you grilling? Like there are these killer burgers at wherever, like I could bring them. They're really good. They marinate them crazy. Like something thoughtful.
I don't want to ask people to go out of their way to pick shit up.
I know.
Everyone wants to just stop at the bodega on the corner and get a 6-pack.
A quick 6-pack, yeah. And I would, that's not quite going to cut it for the kind of shindigs
That's not really
that you're throwing.
enough.
But you're just kind of bitching to me because this is what we do. But you're not going to say anything to anybody.
No, and it honestly, it's not going to stop me from having people over at all.
Nothing's going to stop you. Dude.
But you know what it did do? It did do this. I said to my girlfriend right before we hosted, she was like, we're going to need food. You know, burgers and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do that this time. I don't want to be at the grill.
Right.
I don't want to go out and pick up all this food.
Right.
And then you never really know what people's hunger is. Some people eat, some people don't. Some people feel weird to eat. Some people have dinner plans.
Right.
And you end up with all this like leftover shit that you and I aren't going to go through like 5 burgers in the next 2 days, you know? So,
but it's funny because I correct me if I'm wrong, but I see you being pained at the idea of like taking guacamole out of a can and throwing some Tostitos scoops around the side of it. That's just beneath your hosting.
Well, I did get guac and chips, But what we decided to do was to just, at some point, depending on who was left at the party, order a number of pizzas that would suit that number. And then people should feel fine to Venmo you for that.
Or somebody should be like, I'm gonna order the pizzas, and then they handle the Venmoing, so that you don't have to because you're hosting everybody so generously.
Yeah.
I think that's the move in that situation. I'd be like, dude, I'll order the pizzas. Everybody cool with Venmoing me $5? Yeah. Okay, good, done. Some fucking pies show up. Everybody's happy.
I haven't figured this out yet.
You're getting there,
I
dude.
haven't figured out the intricacies of asking for pay when you haven't told people beforehand that they should that it's not just some free event.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. You can't, no, absolutely.
But
like, it's not your guest's fault that you're fucking making them fucking, what's that fancy tequila in the big blue and white bottle?
Casa Azul.
Yeah, you're making Casa Azul margaritas.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't know. They're like, all right, dude, I won't come. Like, I can't afford this party.
What sucks is that some people like you get it.
Well, I
right?
get it because you talked to me about it. So I would be
but
a
you're not the
lunatic
guy.
to never bring anything.
You, even if I hadn't said this stuff to you, you wouldn't show up to a party at our place and be like, and just assume that everything we served you and fed you was our treat.
Right.
every
No,
every
sure.
3 weekends, as
Right,
we often
right,
do, or
right.
whatever.
So, dude, this is what I'd say about that. My parents, bless their heart, they raised me. I think they raised me well. I love them dearly. They have this tendency to sort of baby me, and I think that's, my therapist would also say, is an Italian thing. So I'm babied. So my parents never really taught me about this, about the like, they're like, you're a baby, you shouldn't be expected to bring things. So I didn't really learn that you're supposed to bring things. And one time I'm at my friend's, I was staying with my friend in Florida at his parents' apartment, and we're eating dinner, and his dad just turns to me and he goes, "Where's my housewarming gift?"
Come on.
And he was busting my balls and completely joking, but like, he also just taught me a super valuable lesson.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that moment. And since then, I have been pretty good about that. I try to be, at least.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. You know what? Have I said this before? You know what's a really good present to bring to a gathering?
What?
Dessert.
Oh, wow.
Bring a decent pie or a cake or some kind of thing.
I agree,
Even
man.
if it's a fucking fruit salad, whatever.
I agree. And dude, honestly, like any sort of food thing, like, have you ever showed up to a party with a pizza? That's a solid thing to do
Not
too.
a bad
and
idea.
it costs the same as a 6-pack, and it's
nothing.
infinitely better than a 6-pack.
Hot pizza.
A hot pizza. Your dick's like 12-inch long the second you walk
You're
in.
the kid in high school who showed up with a backpack full of beers.
Dude, yes.
Yeah,
You're a legend.
that's it.
That's very interesting, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know, what do you got?
I was just gonna say, dude, like, this is a good time to transition into talking about one of our favorite sponsors,
Yes.
Policy Genius.
Policy Genius.
In preparation for your future and family planning. I don't know about you. I've started to sort of become more cognizant of mortality.
We've talked about that. Yeah.
And now that, I have a little bit of money saved, finally, like, it's amazing, dude. I like haven't had money saved up ever until like the past few years. And it's amazing the way that it changes your view on things. You just stop shooting from in the hip as much, and you kind of want to start preparing for the future. So the idea of life insurance is something that started, like, a thing that I've started to think about.
Yeah.
And Policy Genius is a great place to go and buy it. It's a really great marketplace. You can compare different rates and different policies. It's super duper easy. We walked through the website as an exercise just to like get used to it so that we could sell it sincerely. And we've really loved our experience. And I think I'm probably going to, in the next couple of weeks, grab a
Fire
policy.
up some life insurance. When you have people in your life who care about you, there's no reason not to be smart about it, you know?
Totally.
So the way you guys do it is getting started is easy. Head to policygenius.com. That's Policy Genius, one word, capital P, lowercase g, although I guess it doesn't really matter. In minutes, you can work out how much life insurance coverage you need and compare personalized quotes to find your best price. When you're ready to apply, the Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free. They never sell your information to other companies, and they don't add on extra fees. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare quotes from over a dozen top insurers all in one place. And why would you compare? Well, you can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius.
Yeah, and the agents don't work for the insurance companies.
That's
they work for
right.
Policy Genius, and they're trying to find the best deals for you, which is good.
You could also save $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare policies. So head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right.
Love it. Love a good jingle, dude.
That's it.
Fucking crush that shit.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay.
Dude,
Well,
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I got a lot. I got a lot for you.
Oh yeah, I love a lot.
I got a lot
I
for
just
you,
really
dude.
love a lot.
I had an interesting thing happen to me. Actually, with an Uber situation. Did I tell you about this?
I don't think so.
The Uber, we were waiting for it, and I think we were in the Lower East Side. It was the night we were hanging out.
Oh yeah.
And I called an Uber for us to go home. And I was with my girlfriend and two of her friends. And the Uber got to us, saw that none of us were wearing masks, but we all had them in our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put them on as soon as we got into the Uber, or even just before. But we were just waiting for the car. The car pulled up, saw us, and then canceled our ride. And then reported me for not wearing a mask.
So now do you have to prove you're wearing a mask?
Now
in
I have
Uber?
to take a selfie
That's bullshit.
of myself wearing a mask before I get in the Uber.
Dude, this happened to Hillary, and listen to this. She was wearing a mask. The guy shows up and she had groceries. She's like, can I put my groceries in the car? He goes, no. Canceled the Uber and cited that it was because she wasn't wearing a mask.
Dude, they're doing this, man. It's complete horseshit.
It's horseshit.
I don't know if it's because they get some kind of cancellation fee or what,
I know, dude.
but
yeah.
it's fucking brutal, man.
So annoying.
Uber has gone to shit.
Dude, they're so expensive now,
Uber's
too.
gone to shit.
Taxis are again cheaper than Ubers.
And I'm fighting it by riding city bikes everywhere I go.
Good. Fuck it.
But that's so much more dangerous than riding in an Uber, which thank God I've got Policy Genius.
Dude, there's something so fucking frustrating about just getting fucked by a big company.
Yeah.
It sucks ass. I had to buy a computer yesterday. I go to the Apple store and I'm like, oh, how much is it? They tell me. I'm like, oh, it's less expensive at B&H. I'm just going to go there. She goes, well, you get 24-month financing with Apple though, interest free. And I was like, well, that's actually better because I'd rather pay, a smaller amount monthly payment with no interest. So even though it's $100 more, I was like, okay, deal. I was like, how do I do that? She goes, you just have to get the Apple card. I was like, okay, done. I apply for it, get approved.
Is it a credit card?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a digital credit card. They send you an actual one too, apparently. So the time comes to check out. She shows me the thing and there's only 12-month financing. And I was like, you said it was 24. And she goes, oh my God. She's like, I guess for some things it isn't. She checked with her boss, nothing they could do. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to B&H then to buy this. And I don't want this credit card. And she's like, well, you already applied for it. So now you just have it. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, you can close it, but it'll affect your credit. So I called Goldman Sachs, who represents the card. And I was like, are you guys serious? Like,
wow, you went deep.
I mean, I just called. I was
That's
like,
a deep cut. You called Goldman Sachs? Would you call the
no, that's who you call.
front desk?
No. I wasn't like, I'm going above you. I'm calling Goldman Sachs. They represent the card. Like the card is a Goldman Sachs thing.
Okay.
So I call and I'm like, I signed up 5 minutes ago. You can't reverse it. Like when you book the wrong flight, you have like 24 hours to change it for free.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, sorry, like it's going to affect your credit. It was so fucking annoying. I was like, are you serious? This is like, I've been swindled.
Yes.
Right. So then I go to B&H
You were
and have to get another,
swindled.
I have to get another credit card.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second, Julia. What's up with you just accumulating credit cards?
Okay. So whatever, dude, like I don't want to pay $2,000 for a computer.
How many credit cards do you have?
A few.
What, over 3?
Yes.
Over 5?
This is why.
Do you have over 5?
Maybe. But dude, this is why.
Bro, I don't feel like that's a good idea.
So this is why it isn't a bad idea because I don't use any of them. Closing them out supposedly negatively affects your credit. I've closed a couple of them.
Who's advising you about all this credit stuff?
It's
Who
conventional
told you that it's
wisdom.
a bad idea to close credit cards?
I think closing credit cards is just like not a good idea. It's typically, I could, but like, okay, 2 of them, dude, first of all, I was a fucking wild card with credit cards when I was younger.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But now you're not.
Okay, so this is the deal. So like my bank account, my checking account, the balance of of 2 of these credit cards come up every time I check my bank account. So there's no point in closing them. I just have them. I easily can monitor them. Though I had one that was like hard to monitor, closed it out. Then I have the one that the two that I actually use, one Amex, and then I have a Visa for traveling that has no fee on it. And then I'm pretty savvy, dude. So like, but I wanted to, you need to sign up for the credit card of the store in order to get the no interest financing.
So, okay. Every retail store you go to has a credit card. Not everyone, but a lot of them do.
And I would never get one unless there was some kind of big purchase I needed to make where I don't want to pay interest.
Whenever you get to that front desk and you got your whole bag full of stuff, let's say you're at Saks Fifth Avenue, and they tell you, if you sign up for our credit card, you'll get 10% off this order today.
Did it in college with Neiman Marcus to buy my girlfriend at the time Prada shoes that I couldn't afford. And it took me like 5 years to pay them off.
So
and I was paying interest.
So, but then I don't understand. What do you do? You're doing that.
No, I'm not.
With B&H.
No, I'm not. Because there's no fee on the card. I will pay it off in the period with which I won't have to pay interest.
What's the deal you're getting from opening a credit card at B&H?
The deal that I'm getting from opening a credit card at B&H is that I can pay for the computer over a year without having to pay interest on it. As opposed to having to spend $2,000 today, I can spend $200 a month for a year or whatever.
So you're just financing it.
Correct. But without having to pay interest. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So in one day you opened 2 credit cards.
Not only that, dude,
out of spite.
I tried to book, yes, I tried. And then I then tried to book a companion certificate flight with my Delta card. And this is the second time I've tried and you just can't. The companion certificate is the biggest scam in the history of aviation. Okay, dude, like you can't book it. And the only value to having this card is getting a free companion certificate where you and I, if we're going somewhere together, I can book one ticket and we both get a ticket. And then we go and we return and it's fine. And it's unredeemable. So I literally called and I was like, I'm downgrading my card.
Wow. What'd they say?
They said, okay. I was like, it's completely worthless. There's no perks to having this. And if anybody has the Delta Platinum Sky Miles card, I suggest you downgrade to the gold.
Unreal.
That's all I got.
There's the Points guy. You ever heard of him?
I've heard of him.
Everyone talks about him. But I've went on his website and actually tried to decipher some of the true benefits of certain credit cards, and it's too convoluted.
Agreed.
I don't know where the advantage is.
Dude, I literally use 2 to get points. Only one of them has a fee, and any other credit cards that I have, I don't use at all.
I have so many points on one card.
That's great.
Because I haven't touched it. I haven't touched the points in over a year and a half.
Is it like a Chase situation?
Chase Sapphire.
And that's the best. You can use it for flights. You can use it for other shit.
Yeah, well, I've had to save them for this European wedding, which is now happening.
Dude, that's music to my ears.
It's happening.
I'm happy that it's happening because I booked an overlapping trip and I was starting to feel guilty that I just keep fucking gallivanting all over the place and we have to work around the pod schedule. So now the fact that you're going the way that I had intended it to happen.
Where are you going again?
Makes me feel much better. Greece.
Oh, well, maybe we should come to, are you bringing Hill?
Yeah.
Then maybe we should come together. We should, because my girlfriend wants to extend the trip.
Dude, we floated that idea.
She mentioned
initially
Greece
to you guys because we would love that.
Oh, let's go to Greece.
And we should do it. I'll give you the dates when we're done here.
You already have your dates locked?
Yeah. So the dates precede your wedding.
Okay.
So that
we
work.
could front load it.
So you could meet us in Greece and then go to the wedding after.
Oh, buddy. This sounds good.
Oh, buddy.
This is happening. Little couples trip to Greece. A little couples retreat.
Come with me.
I feel like they made a movie about that. Couples
Dude.
retreat?
Yeah,
I never
it'd be
saw
fun. Dude, that would be really fun.
That'd be great, man. I've never been to Greece. Have you been to Greece?
Never been to Greece.
Wow, look at us.
Dude, and
where are we going?
We're going to Santorini.
Yep.
We're going to Milos.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that...
I don't need to go to Mykonos.
So I think Hillary's going to Mykonos with her friends after I leave. I also don't need to go to Mykonos. So if you guys are interested in either of those things...
I'm not dying to go to Mykonos. That's my point. I've heard so much about it that I almost feel like I've been there in my brain.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's been hyped up. I've seen so many fucking pictures of it. I'm sick of all the bullshit. I'm glad I skipped it.
Dude, totally. So this is... no, I'm serious. It's good. It's like
Do you know
Ibiza.
what I mean?
Ibiza. It's like the same
yeah.
kind
Well, unfortunately, I went to Ibiza, but that was another one I could have missed. You know what I mean, though? Like,
yes.
when unless you hit it on the upswing when everyone's super hyped, and then now nobody's hyped about it anymore, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad I never had to go.
I agree. That does end up being a nice thing.
Yeah.
The other thing that excites me a bit is I've discovered this thing called the Traveler Century Club. Have you heard of it?
No. Was that another credit card brotherhood?
So
Fucking meat.
the Traveler Century Club is this thing that takes the idea of visiting every country to the next level. And it's like, there's like 300 destinations on it, so going to actual Greece and going to the Greek islands counts as 2 different destinations. So that excites me.
I don't. So wait, what is this club?
It's like you can join it once you've hit 100 of the destinations. So like, for example, Hawaii is its own destination. The United States is its own destination, continental, and Alaska is its own destination, as opposed to being like, I've been to America.
And what are the perks of being a part of this club?
I have no idea. Just to like
You get a
say you're
sweatshirt
part
or
of it, I
something?
guess. I actually don't know.
They
have to look
have a
into it
clubhouse?
I have to look into it a bit more.
Okay.
But dude, I'll tell you, I was supposed to go to a bachelor party in Barcelona and then was going to go to Greece afterward. What ended up happening was the Barcelona thing ended up kind of imploding because of COVID, whatever. My buddy Tomas, I think he's still going to come. But dude, so I made the mistake of texting Danny Palmer and being like, dude, come to Barcelona.
Oh boy.
And he has just started to be so oppressive with his idea of what the trip should be like. Listen to this. La Liga is apparently starting that day that we're there.
Uh-huh.
The Spanish soccer league, whatever.
Yeah.
Real or Barcelona, the best soccer franchise arguably in the history of the world, might be playing at home with a full capacity, I guess for the first time. I don't know that much about soccer, dude.
Yeah.
I floated that idea to Danny Palmer. He goes, dude, I don't want to do that, dude. I'm just going to go to a bar. I was like, dude, what is your problem? Am I wrong here? That he's like, dude, there's not going to be like, he just wants to go and hit on chicks and get rejected. That's all he likes to do.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, that is
Right?
weird.
Wouldn't you want to go to that?
I definitely would.
Like, what else are you going to do?
And if that wasn't the thing, the alternative would not be go to a bar. It would be like, I would rather go watch, check out the architecture and the basilica or whatever
Absolutely.
the hell it is. That
Absolutely.
kind of shit.
And he's going to listen to this and he's going to be like, dude, see, Francis knows what he's talking about, dude. We're going to go to the Basilica. I'm like, dude, I know. I said I
Oh,
wanted
does
to do
he
that.
want to go to the basilica?
Yeah, he wants to do that. I too
Well, why
want to do
wouldn't
that.
he want to? Look,
Just get chicks.
you got to see how expensive the tickets are to that game.
Right.
Because tickets to
Probably
those games can be super expensive.
Okay, so my boy apparently has a hookup.
Oh.
And
Is
he
a
floated the
garbage
idea.
truck driver? a little call back there.
Fucking Danny Palmer. If it doesn't involve hitting on chicks at the bar, he's not interested.
Good for him. Good for him. I like the cut of his jib.
But anyway, dude, that could be a very fun thing. So I hope we can figure something out.
That'd be cool.
Definitely float the idea.
Wow, look at what's happening here. That
Yeah.
happened in real time. We did not plan that
We did
together.
not plan that shit.
But if we
dog.
do end up in Greece, there's only one thing we're going to be wearing. That's for sure.
That's damn for sure.
The old bird dogs. Boy, do we love our bird dogs.
Dude, that was perfect. That
Yeah.
was a perfect bird dog intro.
That was a good one. We led that right in there. Bird dog shorts, guys. They double as well. They quintuple as basically anything you need them to be. They can be a bathing suit, a short for basketball, or soccer with the local youths on the dirt pitch in like you're playing like you're Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
with the Greek boys
Having the team
as
over.
their fathers take their rowboats out for fishing.
Dude, yeah, jumping in the Mediterranean, dry off in time to have a nice fucking bronzino at dinner.
Oh my God.
I know.
A potato soup with
I know.
some delicious.
Chris just did that.
Oh, you're making me want to go,
Dude,
bro.
I know. It'll be really relaxing too, man.
Wearing bird dogs to dinner.
Hop on the ferry together, island hop. Go
That's it.
European chuckle.
Yeah.
Birddogs.com, guys. Use promo code OOPS and you will get a mystery prize.
A prize.
It has come to that. It's like the lollipop that has the question mark on the outside of it.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get, but you know it's going to be delicious and awesome.
We love our bird dogs. We wear them all the time. They're the short of summer, and their pants are great too. Go to birddogs.com.
Awesome.
I got more stuff for you.
Awesome.
I gotta remember what it was.
I got
though.
something in the intro.
Yeah,
if
hit
you wanna
me,
think
hit
about
me,
it.
hit me.
Okay, so dude, what do you think about this? Theoretically speaking, okay? If your girlfriend got a life-changing opportunity in Los Angeles, how would that conversation work for you? And how should it work?
Okay, two very different questions. or answers. I mean, how it should work, especially with the two of you living together.
Well, let's say it's you though,
Oh, me. Okay. All right. Me.
because
right now.
theoretically we could pick up our comedy careers in LA where we left off and try to make some progress if we absolutely had to.
Yes. So you're saying if my girlfriend came to me right now and said, I have a life-changing career opportunity in LA, when does it start?
I have to move there in a couple months. Is there any way you would entertain moving for me?
Yeah. God, man.
It's so tough. I know it's like it's a couple to couple thing. Like there's so many specifics.
Right. I mean, look, here's what I would do. The first thing I would do is I would reach out to the people in my life that have a good sense of where I am professionally. I would talk to my manager and my agent and say, you know, I'm considering this. How easy would it be for you to help me find work there?
Mm-hmm.
How easy would it be to get plugged into the stand-up scene there?
Mm-hmm. You're like, you seem like you have a little bit of plug-inage already.
Not I don't know. Certainly not compared to here.
Right, of course.
You know, but yes, I think that my manager and my agent are completely bi-coastal. I think a number of their clients are living in LA,
right.
And that's just the way
Which
it
is
is.
helpful.
That's the way our industry is. And then you know, you kind of then end up weighing what your earning potential is there versus here. And you have to decide if the opportunity to make money could get you to a place where it's like similar, like basically, can you even afford it yourself?
Right. Right.
Can you even afford to move there?
Right.
Because if you moved there with the hope of finding work, you know, it's not exactly Des Moines, Iowa. Like, it's not cheap.
Right.
LA.
You're taking a step back for sure, no matter what.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll end up working out and be great. But dude, I think that my answer would be, I can't. I don't want to. I love you. If you need to do this, let's try to make it work and go. And I think in the back of my head, I'd be like, oh fuck, like it'll be really sad if we just grow apart or something. But like, I don't think I could go.
Have you said this to her?
We haven't like specifically had to talk about this. But I don't think she wants to go there anyway. But I think that she knows that already. I don't think she would want to leave me. I think that.
All right, well, let's play it out.
Okay.
Let's say that she went.
Okay.
And then how would you make it work? What would you do?
I would start spending fucking time in LA. I think that maybe I would visit once a month. She would visit once a month.
This is the thing too. It's like you could kind of do almost a gradual feel it out move.
Right.
You could go out there to visit her, stay for whatever, 3, 4, 5 days at a time. And in those visits, really try to network, find work, connect, and set your roots down before officially moving.
Right.
And if those roots did not appear to set, you could then decide there is not enough opportunity for me to make this move.
Well, let's not ignore the elephant in the room here, which is that we have a fucking podcast that we do in person together.
Yeah, but
it functions much better as our lives are sort of like intertwined. If I'm just always gone, I guess I could come for 10 days a month and we could bang out all the episodes or something.
No, I mean, look, dude, honestly, I'm really not worried about the podcast. I think that you and I both know that this is something we enjoy doing. We make real money from it now, money that cannot be ignored.
Mm-hmm.
It's grown consistently, and as far as we know, the sky is sort of the limit.
Right.
And we made the we didn't miss an episode in 6 months of quarantine.
Right.
What makes you think that all of a sudden being in the one other city that is able to cultivate our careers would be like a harder obstacle to navigate than
Totally.
that.
No, totally. I agree.
My
I agree.
point, my the way I would see it very easily would just be you 2 weeks, once a month I come to LA, and once a month you come to New York.
Right.
And we record 2 weeks of episodes every 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
that's it.
It could work, but I will say this. I mean, I'm not willing to be in a position at this point. Dude, I've busted my ass for fucking 15 years eating shit, not having things go my way, and now I have like a consistent nice thing that isn't super duper time consuming where I can just shoot the shit and make money. Like, I'm not super willing to give that up.
I understand that. I understand
I'm
that.
not willing to give that up,
But
honestly.
I also think it's not a question of like giving it up versus not.
No, totally.
It's a question of bending a little to accommodate your partner.
Right. Who I love very much.
Yeah. Who, in theory, her opportunity may be greater than yours.
Totally.
You have
Totally.
to, when you move in together and you're heading on a trajectory towards a life together, you have to make those decisions with her in mind, with each other in mind.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I know you
Compromise.
do. I know you do.
Of course.
But it's like you recognize that she may have to go. She may not. You hope that she doesn't want
She
to.
does. Like, I hope that this never comes up, but were it to, it would be a thing that we would have to just like work through and figure out.
Yeah. Right. You would never say like, "Don't go. We're here. This is where we live."
Never.
You wouldn't Coach Taylor her.
No, I wouldn't.
Did you watch Friday Night Lights?
It's her favorite show. I'm familiar with it, but I've never watched it.
Coach Taylor does this to his wife Tammy in the final season.
I would never do that.
And watching it made me actually think less of him. But in the end, he acquiesces and they end up moving up to the Northeast.
Hillary is an independent ass woman. She doesn't need, she's much more successful than I am at a far younger age. I would never try to stop her from shining in her career, but I might just literally be like, I can't move right now. I'll try to make this work. I don't expect you to not do it.
I think that at this point in our lives, it would be less hard to do some kind of semi-distance thing than you'd think.
Right. No, I agree with that.
It's not as if you're 24-year-olds who still are, drawn to the alluring sounds of a single life and that the demands of a 3-hour time change and nightly sort of FaceTimes are peel you away from a social life that you'd rather have. You guys have lived together. You've lived together in New York. It would be a purely professional move. And I think that you could satisfy your relationship and keep it very, lively and fulfilled. Just seeing each other, whatever, twice a month or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe 3 times a month, whatever it is.
It could potentially work. I would love it if it didn't get to that. But listen, like you said, you got to do what you got to do. And that's
boy.
it, huh?
Well, don't worry about the podcast. That's all I can tell you. I'm a reasonable person. I think the other thing we'd have to consider is that, we'd be flying Chris out to LA every 2 weeks or whatever.
Right.
Big Chris has just set down roots here in New York. He just got his apartment.
Congrats, bro.
Finally.
You closed on it, Chris? It was unclear.
I just signed the lease yesterday.
Wow. Dude,
Atta
mazel tov,
boy,
bro.
atta baby.
Are you comfortable telling us about where it is?
In Greenpoint?
Sick.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a great neighborhood.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah.
One of the best neighborhoods in Brooklyn, in my opinion.
Yeah, you were really gung-ho about
I
it.
love
so
it.
It made me really excited about
Yeah.
it.
Dude, you got to go to community acupuncture. It's right off of McGinnis. You pay on a sliding scale. And you just end up sharing a room with somebody, but it's always like the most beautiful woman who's ever walked the face of the planet.
This is just
It's a great way for a single guy to meet girls.
Such a Giulio thing. If I'm the guy who has goofy domestic stories, he's got an acupuncture recommendation in Greenpoint. Not a restaurant, not a fucking site, just a strange underground needle therapy place.
It's called Work Song. Check it out. It's
Fucking hell.
hilarious. Congrats, Chris. That's
Thanks,
very
man.
cool.
Thank
That's
you.
Oops the Podcast, everybody. We enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. We will see you as always on Thursday. Send us your emails, oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. Check out the YouTube. Check out the Instagram. And give us a look on the Patreon. Give me a look for the book club. The book is Woman in the Window. Our first meeting is July 14th. Going to be a boozy book club. Going to be a lot of fun. Check that out.
Amazing. And keep your eyes peeled for my video series from South America. I'm going to start chopping that up soon. And I guess it's sort of like a Pack Light parallel kind of thing. It's the evolution of Pack Light. So this is where we're at with travel content. Hopefully I'll make some funny shit. So
Love it, baby. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon.